Norman Vincent Peale had the book called The Power of Positive Thinking. And I had picked it up, read it, and there were two things that really enticed me to research further. And that was when he said, you can have anything you want, provided you know what it is. See yourself as already having it. And those were three things that intrigued me. And I was, just a little happy homemaker, no education, high school education, period. And the mother of three and sitting home and needing a lot of little creature comfort things. And so I thought, well, that sounds exciting. So that night, my husband got in and I said, I read this book. And I said, what would you like? And he was reading the Dallas Morning News. And he said, well, looky here, Coca-Cola has a contest. And you can win an outboard motor. All you have to do is write 25 words while you take Coca-Cola on outings. And I said, and then outboard motor. And then he went on and finished reading his paper. Well, I went into the bedroom and he's won an outboard motor. So I sit there and I thought, Coca-Cola on outings, a pad. And I thought, we don't even drink Cokes. That's going to be a tough one. But I saw him sitting in a boat with his motor, enjoying himself. And so I wrote, he liked to go fishing by himself on weekends because he had a very serious job. And he was always stretched out, and the kids were too young to take him fishing at that point. And so he'd go out for the afternoon. Okay, so now I'm sitting there, and I see him in this boat, and I write, I'm a lone wolf fisherman. Cokes are my silent partners. They contribute no yakety yak, only enjoyment when called upon. 25 words. Put it in an envelope, mailed it off, and actually said to him, I wonder how long it's going to take him to let us know we won. Now, that's positive thinking. I didn't know any better. I just knew I wrote that, right? That incident, he's got to win it. 2 weeks later, the representative from Coca-Cola called and said, Mr. Hadsel, you won your outboard motor. I thought, oh, that's nice. Now, what would we like to win? See, now what would we like to win? And my daughter said, well, I'd like to swim bicycle. And I said, and you want what color? I thought, well, everybody should do this because selected, here it is, see yourself as having it. So we had her sitting on a bicycle. And it was, now at that point in time, there were many, many opportunities for contests. And most of them, see, a contest is when you have to complete something in 25 words or less, name something, write an essay. A sweepstake is when they just put your name in the pot and they draw from 1 million entries, they draw your name. I didn't think of that as competition. I always thought the only competition you ever have is with yourself. And that's when you doubt yourself. So now, my daughter, we had to name a pony, and it got to be, now this was a fun thing. And my son, we didn't look for big things, roller skates, bicycles, and things that children wanted. Boom boxes, for music and stuff. And so we started, we would sit at night, and I says, we're going to get Pamela her bicycle, and we have to name a pony. How are we going to name a pony? And show them a picture of a pony, and they said, well, he's brown. And I said, yeah, he's brown. And what else? And what else does he do? Well, I said, does he prance? Well, then we call him Prance Charming. Prance Charming. And you get on a pony. What else? He bucks. He buck too. Prance Charming. And these were what we call coined words. And that's what we sent in. I don't know which entry won, but she had her swing bicycle. Okay, so then we got all the little stuff. I was going to be 40 years old, and I had read that Paris is a city of light, love, and excitement. And I wanted to be on the 1st of January. I said, what are we going to do this year? And Pat said, well, I want to be in Paris, France, sitting at a sidewalk cafe drinking wine on my 40th birthday. And I started to enter contests, only contests that were offering trips. And there were many of them. There was a lot of trips always in contests. Always 25 words or less. And I always used the same 25 words. I said, I'm a poop couple with 3 kiddos, and I'd like to go to Paris, France to recapture the rapture of springtime ecstasy in my fat 40 frustrated years. That's the only thing I wrote. Well, the first time one company investigates, before you win a big prize, you're investigated, they call you or they come out, interview you, and they do that to find out if you are any way related to the sponsors, any way related, because contesting are really on the up and up. And if they wouldn't be, I mean, it wouldn't serve any purpose. So I had the interview, and everything went fine, but I only won third prize, which is a Hammond electric organ, and it didn't win that prize. And I said, well, why did they give me an electric organ? And you know, somebody said to cultivate patience. So I have this big electric Hammond organ, and here it is now. My birthday's the 1st of June, and here it is April already, and I still haven't had this trip now. We're going to have to plan this trip. We're going to be there drinking wine, and my husband even said, well, we have enough money. I said, no, I want to win this for the trip. Well, it seemed like the last minute. I sent that entry off, and lo and behold, I got a phone call and said, Mr. Hadsel, I used his name and my name, you won a trip to Venice, Italy. And I thought, well, I don't want to, I've been to Venice, I want to go to Paris. And the man said, well, you can change, you're first class and you can change whatever you want to do. And he said, when would you like the tickets? I said, like right now. And he had a messenger come and bring these tickets. And we got on the plane, and to make a long story short, on my 40th birthday, I was at that sidewalk with my husband drinking wine. When after I had the publicity and had won that house in Las Colinas and had won all the cars and whatever I needed or wanted, this was very interesting because that night we went to dance. And we're dancing, and right at as you came in, you signed in, and they had this fishbowl, put your name in at the end of the night. They had fruit cakes because it was Christmas time, and they had this big boom box. And my daughter had been wanting this huge boom box that had all these acoustics and things out. And I looked at it and I said, oh, there's Pamela's Christmas present. Well, the woman that was taking the tickets, overheard me, and she laughed and she said, well, Mrs. Hadsel's here, so really and truly, it's stupid to put your name in the Hadsels won the boombox already. All right, what did I do? They were giving me their energy. Everybody in that room gave me energy because they knew now we'd won this house. And we're dancing, and this man said, I guess she's got, and Pat said, she's got the boombox. And they're making a joke of it, a joke. And they don't know that I didn't take their energy, they gave it to me. And that night, when his boss, now it's time to have the drawing, and here's that fishbowl full of names. And the boss said, I'm not going to have anything to do with this. Somebody come up and draw a name. And a woman came up and she said, I'll get a different name. And she whisked around and pulled a name, and it was my name. Okay, this is energy. This is energy. This is what they do. And yes, you can get energy from someone else.